these are the first two sutras of the 20 sutras of the Heart of Recognition. This has been translated by another person who's in the same tradition that I'm in as the Recognition Sutra. And I think there was a retreat that was held a number of years ago by one of the teachers here that focused on that text. So these are the first two sutras of the actual original title means Heart of Recognition. So I prefer to call it Heart of Recognition rather than Recognition Sutras, and also because the word heart in this tradition is a very important word. It's often, that's actually the name for this reality will simply be heart. And the Sanskrit word is Hridaya, and our English word heart comes from the word Hridaya. You might know that Sanskrit and almost all the Indo-European languages, they all have their same roots in these words. So Hridaya, our own heart. So this is not someone else's heart. This is our heart. So the first two sutras, if these two sutras can be grokked, can be discovered as true, then there's pretty much everything else unfolds out of these two. Chiti svatantrā viśhva-siddhi-hetuḥ. The word chiti is very often used in this tradition also to describe this reality. It's a female word for consciousness. It means consciousness, but it is a female gendered word. So the translation is she, consciousness, in absolute freedom, is the sole cause of the manifestation of everything. And we're talking about right now. Your own consciousness is the sole cause of everything that you are experiencing right now. That's what this is saying. There isn't anything else causing what's going on here. And the second sutra, swechaya swabhito vishvam unilayati. Through her own will, consciousness unfolds the universe on the canvas that is herself. You could put in screen. The word that's translated as canvas is also often translated as screen. Through her own will, consciousness unfolds the universe on the screen that is herself. So the next image, the next slide, please. So this is one of the metaphors that's used in this tradition. The female spider who, out of her own being, creates the web, and then out of her own being brings forth the little spiders, her children, are birthed into. So you see all those little spiders that she's birthed into that web. So this is a metaphor for this reality. And perhaps makes clear why in this tradition she's turned she, because she's the mother. She's the mother of us all. We're all born out of a mother's body. In this tradition, the emphasis is iti iti. Iti iti means this right here. Any form. And this is contrasted in Vedanta. The words are neti neti, not this. Because in Vedanta, they want to point us to discover the Shiva aspect that is transcendental and beyond experience. But this tradition says, right here, right now, this, and this, and this, and this. So all the appearances in this tradition are described as condensations of this fundamental power or energy of consciousness. In the same way that what we call H2O goes from being a steam that pervades in every direction to water that is condensed into a fluid and then further condensed into snowflakes, and each snowflake is uniquely expressive of that substance that it is. No two snowflakes are alike, and yet they are all forms of her. So that's another metaphor that's very often used in this tradition, is that all of this is just more condensed forms of her. Next slide, please. So she is the power that moves in the waves of the ocean. Every vibration that is her vibration. She is the motion of every single creature. She is what whirls the winds of storms. She is that which burns as the heart of the sun. These are the ways that she is described. One of the names that she's given in this tradition, Ashvadude, she who rides endless sense impression simultaneously. So in this room, about maybe 20 of us, and watching here online, or maybe, maybe 100 more people, because our Sangha is also watching. All of us have an enormous amount of sense impressions going on right now, right? And each of us have a different set of sense impressions, although there's some overlap, but actually each perspective, a different set of sense impressions. And think of what a small fraction we are of the gazillions of creatures just on this planet. And think there are billions of planets like this. Now we know there are billions of habitable planets. And that's all going on simultaneously. That's how immense her power is, that she is immediately showing up as all of this at once. So hopefully this can be recognized easily, and if so, then in this tradition there is the suggestion in the recognition tradition of what's called the easy way, Sukhopaya, which consists of 3 steps. See if you can follow these steps right now. This is from Abhinavagupta. First of all, the first step, nothing perceived is independent of perception itself. So ask yourself, is anything that you are perceiving right now, can it be separated out from perception? I mean, where would you put it to separate it from perception? Perception, second step. Perception differs not from the perceiver. Where are you going to separate yourself as apart from perception itself, or perception from you? Could you possibly be, something other than perception? Is that some process that is somehow separate or different from what you are? Therefore, the universe is nothing other than and not different from you, the perceiver. That's the third step. Since everything perceived cannot be separated from perception, and perception cannot be separated from the perceiver, then it's all one. That's the easy way. I'm not going to take questions until the end.
I just wanted to hear that last one again about the universe.
Therefore, the universe is nothing other than or different from the perceiver. You being the perceiver, right? Here's Longchenpa from the Dzogchen tradition's way of saying the same thing. There is no separation in awareness between perception of sensory appearances and the consciousness of them. Again, see if you can discover this right now for yourself. There is no separation in awareness between perception of sensory appearances and the consciousness of them. How could you separate your consciousness of sense perception from where are you going to put them? And this is also expressed in the Heart Sutra and the Mahayana Buddhist tradition as form is emptiness Emptiness is form.